Welcome back, everybody. This is another episode of the No Money Real Estate Podcast, and it's a co-produced episode of Coffee with Ken. Hey, I'm in the office this morning, and I got a DM on Instagram from a guy that I want to assume is a young guy, because here's what the question said. How can I make a full-time income and really turn real estate investing into a career? And I think that's a great question. I'm going to unpack it for you right after this. Hey, my name's Ken Dunn, and I'm a real estate investor. I want to welcome you to the No Money Real Estate Podcast. On this show, I'm going to interview elite level real estate investors from all over North America, and I'm going to help you to see one thing that all successful real estate investors have in common. They built their portfolios without using a dime of their own money. I've got a portfolio of $300 million in real estate. That includes resorts, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, and I've built the entire portfolio without using a dime of my own money. Real estate is a business that anybody can get into, but the strategies that those tight real estate investors use to build massive portfolios have been kept secret for decades. Now, because of this show, I'm going to reveal them to you. So let's get started. So listen, here's the one thing that everybody needs to understand about real estate investing. Everybody was a beginner at some time. Everybody started. Everybody who does real estate investing, the top investors in this country were once beginners. Now, I will give it to you that some of the biggest real estate investors in this country right now are part of family legacies. So they had rich parents who started. But if you go back through those hierarchies, there was somebody that started in the beginning and had no money and did it to break their family's legacy. I look at my own case as an example. I've been in real estate investing for 25 years. For most of the 25 years, for 15 of those years, I did it very quietly, and I did it casually as I built my other businesses. I owned rental properties, I owned commercial properties, and it was always a side thing for me. And then it was back in 2018 where I got really excited about cottages. I had a cottage rented for the weekend, for a week in the summer with my family, and the guy who rented us the cottage bailed on us. It ended us up at a cottage that I would have never have rented if it weren't for the last minute nature of it, and I decided I was going to start a cottage business. And now we own 11 luxury cottages that we rent on Airbnb and make $100,000 a month, and we're building resorts right across this country, and I'm really excited about it. But here's my story, and I don't know if everybody's actually heard this. So prior to becoming an entrepreneur, I was a police detective, and I was a major crime detective in Ottawa, Canada, and doing police interrogations and all kinds of stuff that I really loved. And I read a book. And the book was called Becoming a Better You by Joel Osteen. And if you have not read this book, I am not asking you or telling you should read it. I am telling you should read it, but I'm not telling you should read it because it's an evangelistic person who is a Christian believer. That's not the purpose at all. He intentionally wrote this book in a way that had nothing to do with Christianity, but really about life and how people can change their lives. And during the book, he talked about heredity. Now, heredity, everybody, when they hear that word, they automatically think about disease and disorder. You know, your parents, you've got a history of diabetes in your family. That's hereditary in nature. What he was talking about is that same idea that those symptoms, those things that cause the diseases could pass, those gene mutations could pass from one generation to another. He was saying that's the same thing with wealth. If you're not rich today, if you don't have significant amounts of money, if you're not happy with your life today, this might give you some solace. Look back in your family. Look at your dad, your granddad, your great-granddad, or look at your mom, your great-grandmom, your great-great-great-grandma. Go back as far as you can and tell me who was the last person in your hierarchy that was wealthy. Osteen's theory was it probably doesn't exist. And then he goes on to say that if somebody wants to become wealthy, you can be wealthy. You can become wealthy, but you have to make the bold, audacious decision to become wealthy and then do the things that wealthy people do in order to get yourself there. And I think that's probably what this kid was asking me is, how do I get rich? How do I build a real estate portfolio, have $100 million in real estate, make more money than anybody in my family's ever made before? And so the first thing I'm going to tell you is become a reader and a listener. Read books, listen to podcast episodes. When you're not at your job, for God's sakes, don't be like average kids, because that's the recipe for failure. Start studying entrepreneurship. Listen to really great podcasts like this podcast. Listen or read really great books. Read Becoming a Better You by Joel Osteen. Read How to Win Friends and Influence People. Read How to Make People Like You in 90 Seconds or Less. Read Chasing Daylight. There are thousands of books. And if you read all these books, you're going to learn the things from those entrepreneurs that they use to become successful. But there's a bigger mission here. There's a bigger thought process that I want to leave with you. There's an old saying, and I believe it was Jim Rohn who coined it. And Jim Rohn said, you are the sum of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So if you want to change your life and you want to make more money and you want to build a real estate portfolio, here's 3 simple things that you can do to get yourself on the track where you're going to win. Number 1, become a student of the industry. Read books, listen to podcasts, watch YouTube videos, do all that stuff. Number 2, join a coaching community. There are amazing coaching communities right across this country. There's a guy named Alfonso Quadra who runs a coaching community called Wealth Genius. Fantastic coaching community. I'd recommend it, especially if you want to do multifamily real estate. There's a massive real estate community. They've gotten some bad PR lately, but I still believe their hearts are in the right places. It's called Keyspire, great real estate community. We run a real estate mastermind group. It's called the Investors Growth Syndicate. And why I believe the syndicate is different than every other coaching community out there is I have an expertise in fundraising. I know how to fundraise. And I've been doing it online, running ads, probably longer than anybody else in this country that does it. And I've inspired a lot of the other big guys to do it. And inside of the Investors Growth Syndicate, we help make the journey for real estate investors easier. And I have a long-standing guarantee that I say for any members of our community, I will teach you how to fundraise. And if you need money for a deal, I will get it for you. If it's a big deal, a lot of money, I will help you raise the money. And if it's a small deal like a house flip or a cottage, I have 7,000 private lenders who are committed to lending you the money. That's what makes the syndicate different. Now, I'm going to put a link to a video you can watch in the chat of this so you can learn more about the Investors Growth Syndicate and see if it's right for you. But the moral to this story is, if you want to build a real estate portfolio and you want to make a full-time income doing it, join some type of real estate coaching community, because you've got to get yourself around different people. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And if you took that message to heart I just said, and you're thinking about people that you spend the most time with, I guarantee you're spending time with people just like you. That's broke people. That's not going to help you. You need to start spending time with people that are better than you. And that is an incredibly important part of this. The third thing I'm going to tell you is start going to real estate events. If you search online, you're going to see in every major city in Canada, there are real estate meetup groups where real estate investors get together because they like to coalesce. Coalesce means being around other people like you. And you got to start coalescing. You got to start getting out there into the market and associating with people that are that are real estate investors that are successful. Start changing the people that you hang out with. Go to events. We manage a really major event that happens in Canada every year. It's called the Real Estate Investors Summit. We get thousands of people that show up at this event every year. It's one of the largest real estate events in Canada. It happens in the fall of every year. Do yourself a favor, spend a bit of money and come to these events. And when you're there, be there. Block out the rest of the weekend. When the training is going on, stay in the room. Bring a pen and a paper, a notebook, and take notes. Meet the people. Buy the highest level ticket you can for this event. This is one thing I have to tell you. At these events, the highest level ticket normally includes the meals, parties, social events where you can get to know other real estate investors. They normally cost over $1,000, but figure out a way to get whatever the highest level ticket is to go to these events. See, what you're going to do if you take this advice is you're going to get around people. You're going to get into a coaching community and you're going to be more encouraged to do something. That's the secret to this stuff. Change your environment. You're going to change your outcome. I did a video 15 years ago, and I was teaching people how to change their lives. And I said, it's really simple. If you want to change your life, you have to change the 2 E's. The first E is your experience. You got to increase your experience. You do that by getting around people that have more experience than you. The second E is environment. You got to change your environment. Start hanging out with different people. Start hanging out with better people. Start hanging out with people that are already millionaires in real estate. And over time, you're going to be inspired by them. You're going to be driven by them. And you're going to see that it's easy to do. And you're going to take your first step and do your first deal. Once you do your first deal, or once you learn, if you join the Investors Growth Syndicate, you're going to master the 4 steps for real estate investing. That's all. If you want to, I have a $300 million portfolio today. And all I did was 4 things. I mastered the art of finding undervalued properties. I mastered the art of raising capital to buy property. I mastered the art of increasing the value of properties after I buy them. And then I mastered the art of the disposition, the exit. What do I do with it once I've increased the value? And that could be sell it or refinance it and keep it. You've got to master those 4 skills. If you do the 3 things I told you in this video, you'll master those 4 skills and you'll change your life. Hope this helped. If you like what you hear in this podcast, do me a favor and give me a 5-star review. Let's boost up this podcast so we can help other people to get connected with it. If you're on YouTube watching this video, then for gosh sakes, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. We'll see you soon.